On the day we were receiving those Pulitzers, John Perner, who was the publisher, who I admire a lot, didn't show up for a little bit of time, and it turned out that he had been informed that we were going to have to do drastic cuts, budget cuts, and he was just stricken by that. He just, he didn't want to do it. He thought it was a bad, ill-advised thing to do. And then he showed up for the dinner and so on, and he later told me that's why he hadn't been there for all of the festivities.
Was that your first round of cuts that you had to make, or was that the one you'd already made one or
no,
two rounds?
we'd been cutting and trimming and so on. And I can't remember what the first round of cuts was, but the first one is always easier than the second, and the second's easier than the third. And so it was getting a little tough. And most of the cutting at first was not in the newsroom. There was some in the newsroom, but it was okay. But the business side was really cut badly, and people don't realize how devastating that was. When you look back on all of the budget slashing that went on over those 5 years, it's impossible to put your finger on what it was that caused the circulation of the LA Times to plummet. More than the industry generally was going down, but the LA Times is going down faster. But my belief is not that it was the newsroom cuts, it was the business side cuts. Things like promotion were almost eliminated. Numerous printing operations and all of the wherewithal you have to sell newspapers was stripped away. If you pull the plug on that selling apparatus, on that marketing and so on, your papers, even in the best of times, is going to go down. And so the paper was badly damaged in that way. And I felt that there was no strategy, there was no plan for anything good at the other end of this cutting. The whole purpose of the cutting was to keep present management in their jobs for another year or two, which was not, frankly, a cause that I could identify much with. I just as soon have somebody else. I didn't think they were doing a good job. I thought that they were neglecting not only the LA Times future, but these other papers they had. Baltimore Sun, Hartford Courant. These papers were being treated as if they were invented yesterday and they weren't making as much money, so let's just discard them. Whereas, the Baltimore Sun was founded in 1837. It was the paper of H.L. Mencken, and to think you could buy it in 2000 and be basically stripping it down to nothing within a few years. The Hartford Courant, I think, was founded by Benjamin Franklin's brother. Oldest daily newspaper in America, treated like just another startup. Let's get rid of it. It's the most arrogant thing I can imagine. To take these great newspapers, which are irreplaceable, nothing, you can talk about citizen journalism, nothing is coming along that is doing the job that they have done. And to just say, well, we need the money now, we need to keep it at 20%, let's just ruin the damn thing. So that's why I didn't identify with it. Now, I was concerned about the cuts on the business side, but of course my primary responsibility was the news side. And when they got into the news side and were cutting every year, 50, 60 people, push them out the door, cut the space in the paper, make the paper worse, I just decided I couldn't do that. I couldn't in good conscience participate in that anymore.